I want to talk a little bit more about addition and some strategies and ways of thinking that help students to visualize what they're doing when they add and to help them build this fluency. And I will argue that fluency involves this. Later on, when students are older, they might look at a problem like 6 plus 8, and they will have in their imagination, in their mind's eye, a visual representation of what 6 plus 8 really means. And it will involve two things. Number one, addition means combining of quantities. So they'll imagine 6 of something and 8 of something and combining those quantities to produce a new total. And second of all, they'll have some visual representation in their mind where they can see it. And that mental math will really be an empowering tool for students as they move forward in their mathematics, even into high school and college. So here's how it can play out. We're looking at a product called KP 10 Frames. In the Google slide, you saw my reference to Kim Rimby, who is a math educator who created these things. And these 10 frames, let me show you what they look like if we were in the classroom. They come with the little single orange blocks, and then they come with what's called a 10 frame. And the 10 frame is specifically in groups of 5 like this because of the visual representation. When students start putting these blocks in and they can see 5s and they can see 5 and they start to think about making 10s, and you've seen with place value the importance value of making 10. And so when students see this, they can start to in their mind's eye see how much more do they need to make 10. And making 10s is a very productive strategy. Now, once 10 are made, you can hold it together as a group of 10, which is a really powerful thing. And this is nice because as you will continue to see, even in this module, making 10 and breaking apart 10 is an important part of the learning for our young learners. And so this little tool to help them make groups of 10 is going to be nice. And then once you've made groups of 10 and we get into maybe triple digit addition, you can put together 10 tens and you can make hundreds and you can pull apart 100. So putting 10 tens together, pulling apart is going to be a very useful thing you'll see as we move forward. But since we're online, you had access to this link in the Google slide. I hope you'll open it up and play with it. But let me just take you through how this might work with kids in the classroom with the tangible manipulatives. So 6 plus 8. When a student is looking at this 10 frame with 6 orange blocks in it, they can see that they don't have a 10 yet. Visually seeing that they haven't filled the 10 frame and visually seeing that there's 4 remaining, they start to get a number sense here of I've got 6, I need 4 more to make 10. And then when you make 8, likewise, very visual. 5 and 3 is 8. There's just all kinds of good math going on here when you look at a 10 frame. 5 and 3 is 8, 2 more to make 10. All those things are just fantastic for their thinking. So now, combining the quantities, making 10 is a big deal. It's helpful. Now you can make 10 either way. You could combine by moving some of these into this 10 frame or some of these into this 10 frame. It doesn't matter. And maybe kids will find an efficient way to do it, which is one of the questions. They might see that if I take one of these and bring it here, and take one of these and bring it here, I can make a 10. Now, once I make a 10, 10 combined with 4, 14, the result of 14 becomes pretty evident. Now, in this, as we progress, students might imagine now 6 plus 8. 6 plus 8. Well, I can take 2 from the 6, add it to the 8, and make 10. That would leave me at 4 plus 10 is 14. And that, I'm saying this all really slow right now, but over time, and with these foundations built, students can start to see, call them these number bonds. They can see that 6 plus 8. I can break apart that 6, and I can grab 2 of them and move it over to the 8 to make 10. That leaves me 10 plus 4, that's 14. Just all kinds of ways that we're visualizing what's happening here. Now, another visual tool that's helpful for kids is a number line. So on a number line, students might learn to think this way. Let me grab my pen here. Now, it's important, as you'll see as we get into integers later on, it's important that students see how a number line is effectively used to add 6 plus 8. Let me add to this number line. Number line didn't have a 0. I'd like to have a 0 on this number line. So this number line now has a 0. So 6 plus 8. 6 is really this distance from 0 to 6. That big old orange thing is a 6. And an 8, if I add on 8, that is if I combine 8 more units, I want to make that thicker. If I combine on 8 more units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I can see the result of 14. And what's nice about this visual is, again, students might be able to see making 10. They might see in their mind's eye starting at 6, and then 4 more gets me to 10. So out of the 8, 4 more gets me to 10, and then 4 more, because I need 8, will get me to 14. And they might be able to see 6 plus 8 is 14, so that mental math. And I'm telling you, I work with some 9th graders who, when they had something like 6 plus 4, when I interviewed them, their minds are kind of blank. They did 6 plus 4, I see nothing. They have to grab the calculator and go 6 plus 4, oh, it's 14. And I'm not saying that's all horrible, but it's kind of a shame that we don't have a deeper way of thinking, either with manipulatives. I can see 6 plus 8 is 14 because I'm moving these orange blocks around. Or on a number line, I can see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. I can see 6 plus 8 is 14. And just in terms of doing mathematics, if you can reduce the cognitive load in more advanced mathematics, where 6 plus 8 isn't the cognitive load, I can see that as 14, and I can move on to bigger and better things. But if 6 plus 8 is nothing, and now I'm stuck there, I can't really move on with the algebra or the geometry or whatever advanced mathematics I'm doing, because my cognitive load is still on 6 plus 8. So we're just trying, as you're teaching K1, 2, and we're working on addition, even with single digit numbers, these 10 frames and number lines provide a visual to provide a way for students to think about the mathematics.